I know why you're here. Sora's about to come out. You want to know how to play Smash, right? That's the reason. Well, in this video, I'm going to teach you guys a quick guide on how to play Smash Ultimate. Tell you the basics of what you need to know and all that. It's going to be quick, and I might do, tech videos and things like that on this game, but we'll see how this video is received. If you're new to the channel, welcome. The name's Sir Elijah. If you're an active viewer, what's good? Alright, so Smash Brothers overall is a platforming fighting game where, you just knock out your opponent off stage, get him out the blast.
Oh no!
To get him to the blast zone. Now, if we're talking casual gameplay, this video isn't really for that, but casuals, you could do whatever game mode you want. You could play with items and things like that, and play with whatever stages you want. But competitive players tend to turn off items and use a set stock. So typically in tournaments for Smash Ultimate, it's 3 stocks and I guess you could say 7 minutes. I tend to play with 4, not in tournaments, but just like online. But you could set it to 7 because that's typically what they play on. Also, when choosing a stage, they tend to actually have like 2 formats, or sometimes use a normal stage, but they tend to have Battlefield and, not like regular, like just a flat platform. And you can actually toggle those things by just pressing the X button and just switch. So this is how a normal stage would look. This is how Battlefield and regular. So these two are basically what's used in tournaments pretty much, for obvious reasons. Alright, so now that we got that out the way, you have your character selection. I don't have all the characters because I just haven't bought all of them yet. I might one day in case I get bored of all these characters, but for now I just have like a few select. But you have all your characters and DLC. I only have 3, along with a me character. When you start the game, you're gonna have to actually unlock all these characters, so I'll leave a link in the description on how to quickly unlock each character, because you can do it like in about an hour to unlock every single one, something like that. But yeah. Alright, so now we're on the training stage. Here is where you want to go if you're like really new. I just say you practice this first, practice the game. So basically, you have your set buttons, your default buttons. I'm using a GameCube controller, so for you, if you're new, you might be using like a Switch controller, but I believe the buttons are pretty much the same. But I'll just name them as like attack and special and shield and all that. So you have your attack button, and for most characters, it's 3 hits. Some characters, like heavy characters, like for example Ganondorf, is just only 1 hit. So you have that. You can also hold your attack button and it'll do it like auto combo style. Then you have your special, and it varies with different characters. Some characters like Mario, for example, would just have to tap special or whatever. You could tap special with any character, but like some characters you can actually hold it. So like Sephiroth or Link, you can hold special and do things like that. Then you have your shield buttons, which is L or R, and your shield depletes all the way down to 0. So once that happens, you'll get stunned and you won't be able to move around for a while. So your opponent has time to do anything he wants. Your opponent can also hit you through that shield, so be cautious of that. But along with shields, you can do a few things pretty much. So you can roll out the way, so you hold L or R and then you just roll. Or you can spot dodge, which is just going downwards, so L and then down. That's a spot dodge. It pretty much just evades attacks. And one more thing you can do is, I forgot what you call it. Someone let me know if it's even called a name, but you could pretty much land safely or recover quickly with your shield button. Say you get attacked. See, I pressed L right before I landed. You can also roll while you land, so like that. And the last thing you could do with the shield button is air dodge. So it's pretty much the same thing, but you're just doing it in the air. And this really helps you when you're like recovering off stage. And then you have your jump button. you could jump with like 3 things. So you could jump with Y, X, or your stick. Like just move it up. And then you have the double jump, which can be moved around, things like that, blah blah blah. Then you have your grab, which you can do in 2 ways. You can just press the Z button, or whatever the button is on your Switch controller. Z, and then you can just toss your opponent. So you can toss your opponent, you know, up, down, left, and right. And then you can also grab out of your shield. So when you hold L or R, you just press A, and yeah. And typically that's what you want to do when you're on the defensive side. So if your opponent throws out an attack, you could just, you know, I guess, wait for him to hit, and then you just hit a shield. Like that. And you also have your tilt attacks, which is forward tilt. Notice how when I press A regularly, it's just that. But when I do forward tilt, it's this. You have your up tilt, and then you have your down tilt. So it's basically just you tilting the joystick. That's how you get the tilt moves. It's pretty hard to do in battle sometimes, especially like your up tilts. You gotta really be precise a little bit, and your forward tilts is kind of hard as well. I mean, you can still do it while walking, but to be accurate, it's pretty hard. Then you have your air attacks. By the way, this is called neutral air, as well as this is called neutral attack, pretty much. So yeah, you have your neutral air, your up air, your forward air, your back air, and your down air. You don't have like a back attack on the ground. So your forward tilts are basically just forward, regardless. But in the air, you actually have a back attack, a back air. Pretty useful. Speaking of tilt attacks, you also have tilts for your special attack. So you have your side B, your down B, and your up B. Now these are universal, especially in the air as well. It's the same thing. There's no back B or whatever. It's just, you know, side B or whatever. It all works the same, no matter what angle. Now the final thing we're gonna talk about is just how to play the game, and we're gonna, you know, get you up out of there and let you enjoy the game for yourself. So, like I said, Smash is a platform game, pretty much. Fighting game. It's just you and your opponent if you're playing on tournament standards. If not, you're gonna be playing with items and things like that, and you can just have fun doing that if you want. But if you're playing to like get good, then you're gonna have to play like just one-on-one, you and the person alone, simple stages, things like that. The game is all about spacing and just knowing when to counter your opponent, pretty much. In a way, it almost feels like a turn-based fighting style, because if you throw out an attack, your opponent could literally just block and counter you, or just try to counter you in general. So most of the times you just want to throw out attacks that are quicker. If you know something's unsafe to throw out, don't throw it out. So when I say unsafe, I mean an attack that's very slow. So for example, with Sephiroth, his up B has a long leg. See, it took that long for me to be able to walk, so I'll hold the walk button and then I can walk. So things like that. If you throw out a move that tends to like be slow, you'll be easily countered. So try to throw out quick moves, you know, so you could avoid being countered, so you could actually have space to like run back, pretty much, instead of this where it's like you can't move. That's probably a bad example, but it's basically what I'm trying to say. So that's like one tip. It's just, you know, throw out. You'll see what I mean as you play. That's all I'm gonna say. Because the good players that you play against, they're gonna be patient and wait for you to do something so they could just attack you like right after. So just be patient when you play. And one other tip is when you're recovering, I recommend you air dodge early. Like, say you get knocked far away. See how I air dodged? And I came back. A lot of characters, I tend to air dodge early just to get an advantage of coming back onto the stage. And it tends to work, so yeah. Also, when you're getting knocked back, you want to use something called directional influence. I might talk about it in another video, but I'll just, you know what, I'll just leave the basics for now. It's pretty simple term, but yeah, I'll teach some terms like in another video. But yeah, guys, After that, I think you're set to play Smash. I'll talk about some more terms in the future video maybe, but for now I'm gonna be, when Sora comes out, I'm gonna do some videos on him and probably do a guide on him. Pretty simple guide. Everyone's pretty easy in this game, but yeah. Other than that, guys, I'll catch you on the next video. Thank y'all for tuning in. Deuces. I'm out.